Behind this gate, there is not only the Brazil national football team, there is a five-star legacy, and there are surprise players who could shape the destiny of the World Cup. So can this squad really become world champion? As the 2026 World Cup gets closer, the eyes of the football world are once again on the Brazil national team. Because some countries do not just enter a tournament, they change the entire atmosphere of it, and Brazil is one of those countries. But this time, it is not only about samba, talent, and stars. This time, there is a more complicated story. As you know, when the World Cup squads were being announced, Neymar's name was not there. But after Carlo Ancelotti's final squad announcement, we know that Neymar is now part of the squad. And that star name, Vinícius Junior, is now the new face of this team. He is expected to play a key role in the 2026 World Cup. Raphinha is also an important player in this squad. There is no doubt about his quality. Even though he and Vinícius Junior play for rival clubs, I believe they can become a very strong duo for Brazil. The young talent Endrick, with a market value of 35 million euros, could also make a real impact in this World Cup. And if he can show himself enough on this stage, I have no doubt that it will have a positive effect on his career. And on the sideline, Brazil has a manager like Carlo Ancelotti, a coach who reads tournament football like a game of chess. So can this squad really win the 2026 World Cup? How should Brazil build its strongest starting 11? Who should be on the pitch? Who should wait on the bench? And maybe most importantly, where is the missing piece of this team? The biggest and most important tournament in football history has never been an ordinary tournament for Brazil. For Brazil, the World Cup is the highest stage in football. The legacy of Pelé, the finishing of Ronaldo, the magic of Ronaldinho, the left foot of Rivaldo. Players who wear the Brazil shirt have always shown their talent, because Brazil is a football country. From children to elders, almost everyone knows football and has played it. But the truth is this: Brazil hasn't won the World Cup since 2002. For a country like Brazil, this is not just a statistic, it is pressure. And with every new tournament, that pressure becomes even bigger. The expectations of the fans grow more and more every year. The collapse at home in 2014, the disappointment against Belgium in 2018, the door that closed on penalties against Croatia in 2022. Now, in 2026, a new gate is opening. But this time, Brazil has to win not only with talent, but with balance. When we look at the squad Carlo Ancelotti has, the first truth is clear. Brazil's attacking line could still be one of the most frightening attacking lines in the world. But the World Cup is not won only with attack. That is why we have to start the ideal 11 from the goalkeeper. The strongest option to protect Brazil's goal seems to be Alisson. This is not an easy choice when Brazil also has a goalkeeper like Ederson, who is extraordinary with the ball at his feet. Ederson would add a different quality to the team in build-up play from the back. The experienced goalkeeper stays calm under pressure, and with one long pass, he can move the game into the opponent's half in an instant. But in the World Cup, things can change. Sometimes one reflex, one cross, or one one-on-one save can change the destiny of the tournament. In that sense, Alisson looks like the safer starting goalkeeper. I believe Brazil's goal could be more secure with Alisson. But what do you think? This could truly be a choice that changes Brazil's destiny. The final decision will belong to Carlo Ancelotti. Now let's move to the center of the defense. Here, two names stand out: Marquinhos and Gabriel Magalhães. Marquinhos is the defensive leader of this team. With his positioning, calmness, and experience, he can bring balance to Brazil's back line. And when Gabriel plays next to him, the defense gains physical power, aerial strength, and Premier League toughness. On paper, this duo looks strong. But there is a small problem here. Éder Militão will not be in the squad because of injury. The absence of an athletic and fast center back like Militão, who can defend large spaces, could affect how high Brazil can push its defensive line. If Brazil plays too bravely, balls played behind the defense can become dangerous. That is why Marquinhos and Gabriel will need to be more than just strong. They will need to keep the right distance at all times. At right back, Wesley stands out. At left back, Alexandro comes forward. Wesley is a more dynamic, more energetic, and more modern right-back profile. He can join the attack, he can use the touchline, he can support Raphinha. But at World Cup level, every forward run has a price. The space he leaves behind could be the area where Brazil is tested, especially against strong transition teams. Alexandro is a different type of player. Maybe he does not have the same tempo he once had, but he has experience. Behind a very attacking left winger like Vinícius Junior, sometimes the most valuable thing is not speed, it is correct positioning. Alexandro can give Brazil balance in that area. But the real question begins in midfield, because Brazil's World Cup destiny will not be decided only by Vinícius's dribbles or Neymar's talent. The destiny of this team will be decided by the balance built in midfield. The duo of Casemiro and Bruno Guimarães could be the key to this squad. Casemiro may no longer be in the fastest period of his career, but the World Cup is not played only with running distance. In the World Cup, experience, positioning, foul timing, second ball instinct, and leadership are extremely valuable. In these areas, Casemiro is still one of Brazil's most important players. Bruno Guimarães is the rhythm player of this team. Brazil's attackers are very bright, but this brightness needs a passing center to connect everything together. Bruno can do that. He can take the ball from defense and carry it into attack. He can change direction under pressure. He can stop the team from falling apart. And in front of this duo, the most important decision appears. Neymar, Lucas Paquetá, or Endrick. If Ancelotti wants a more balanced structure, Lucas Paquetá could be the safer choice for the number 10 role. Paquetá can press, he can connect the play, he can help the attack flow, and he does not completely disconnect the midfield. But if Neymar is on the pitch, the story changes. Neymar may no longer be Brazil's key player, but he's still a player who can change the destiny of a match with one pass, one touch, or one free kick. His return gives this squad emotional depth, but at the same time, it also brings a tactical question. If Neymar starts in the first 11, Brazil becomes more creative, but the tempo could slow down. If Neymar starts on the bench, Brazil becomes more balanced, but the pure creativity needed to unlock a defense could be reduced. That is why, in my opinion, Neymar should not be an automatic starter in every match. He should be the most special weapon of the tournament. When the opponent's defense gets tired, he can come into the game and make the final move. Because Neymar no longer has to be the whole of Brazil, but he's still one of Brazil's most dangerous players. When we reach the attacking line, the light behind the gate becomes much stronger. On the left wing, Vinícius Junior. In today's Brazil, he is the biggest threat. With his speed, one-on-one ability, open space destruction, and big match experience, Vinícius should be the main attacking weapon of this team. If Brazil traps him only on the touchline, that would be a mistake. They need to create space for him. They need to leave him in one-on-one situations. They need to see his runs early. The best way for Brazil to use Vinícius is to let him become the version that destroys the balance of the opponent's defense. And if Brazil can find him with the ball at the right time, he can become a nightmare for every defense in this tournament. On the right wing, Raphinha. Raphinha's value is not only about goals or assists. He is the working engine of this attacking line. He presses, he holds the whiff, he cuts inside, he creates a shooting threat, and he keeps the right side alive. While Vinícius gets freedom on the left, Raphinha can protect the balance of the team on the right. That is why Raphinha could be one of Brazil's invisible but very important stars. At striker, Matheus Cunha stands out. Cunha is not a classic penalty box striker. He is more mobile, he connects the play more, he is more flexible, and this is very valuable for Brazil. Because for wingers like Vinícius and Raphinha to make runs inside, Brazil needs a forward who creates space in the center. Cunha does not keep center backs fixed. He pulls them out. He creates gaps. He allows the attack to breathe. Endrick is a different story. He is the voice of the future. Maybe he is still too young and risky to start in the first 11, but when he comes into the game in the final part of a match, he can become a very dangerous weapon for opposing defenses. Because there is fearlessness in Endrick's game, and in the World Cup, sometimes that makes the biggest difference. So, what does Brazil's strongest starting 11 look like? My ideal Brazil starting 11 would be in a 4-2-3-1 formation. In goal, Alisson. In defense, Wesley, Marquinhos, Gabriel Magalhães, and Alexandro. In midfield, Casemiro and Bruno Guimarães. In the attacking three, Raphinha, Lucas Paqueta, and Vinícius Junior. And up front, Matheus Cunha. This starting 11 gives Brazil both star power and balance. Depending on Neymar's condition, Brazil can build a more controlled structure with Paqueta, a more creative structure with Neymar, or a braver structure with Endrick. But this team also has missing pieces. The absence of Rodrygo, who has a torn ACL in his right knee, is a major blow. Because Rodrygo was not only a winger, he was a system player. He could be used on the right, on the left, as a second striker, and even as a false nine. He is the type of player who can appear quietly in the right place and score in big matches. His absence reduces Brazil's attacking flexibility. The absence of Éder Militão reduces the athletic power of the defense, and the absence of Estêvão takes away the explosive surprise of the future from this squad. The fact that names like Richarlison, João Pedro, Gabriel Jesus, Savinho, and André Santos are left out is important when we talk about squad depth. This does not mean Brazil's options are weak, but the World Cup is a long road, and on a long road, sometimes the players who are not on the pitch also affect the story. Brazil's strengths are clear. First, the attacking line is very strong. With players like Vinícius, Raphinha, Neymar, Cunha, Endrick, and Martinelli, this team can score in every match. Second, the Ancelotti factor. For a long time, Brazil has not only been looking for talent, Brazil has been looking for big game management. Ancelotti is one of the most reliable managers in the world in that area. His job is to turn Brazil into a team that is less chaotic, less emotional, and more controlled. Third, experience and youth stand side by side in this squad. Players like Casemiro, Marquinhos, Neymar, and Alisson bring tournament intelligence. Players like Vinícius, Endrick, Wesley, and Martinelli bring energy. But the weaknesses are also real. The fullback areas can be targeted. Casemiro's tempo can be tested in high-pressing matches. Neymar's physical condition will create questions throughout the tournament. And most importantly, if Brazil tries to put too many stars on the pitch at the same time, the balance of the team could break. The World Cup is not won on paper. Brazil's paper is very strong, but the real question behind the gate is this: can these stars become a team? If Ancelotti finds the right balance, Brazil will become one of the serious favorites for the 2026 World Cup. This team has the quality to reach the semi-final level. With this squad, Brazil has fire in its hands. But you cannot win the World Cup with fire alone. The team that controls the fire wins. Can Brazil become champion in 2026? Yes, it can, but not only by playing like Brazil. It must feel like Brazil and think like Ancelotti. It will not be easy. In the next video, we will analyze Brazil's opponents. Which team is your favorite for the 2026 World Cup?